Once upon a time, in the heart of the vast savannah, there lay a village known as Tumekija. The village was surrounded by lush green hills that rolled into the distance like waves on a calm ocean. The tall acacia trees dotted the horizon, their leaves gently swaying in the warm breeze. Tumekija was a peaceful village, and its people were hard-working, from the farmers who tilled the soil to the women who fetched water from the river and tended to the homes. In this village lived a man named Njoroge, a man of great strength and wisdom. Njoroge was admired by all the men in the village because he was diligent in his work and respectful to his elders. His house stood tall near the edge of the village, with its walls made of mud and its roof thatched with dried palm leaves. Despite his hard work, Njoroge was humble and kind-hearted. But there was one thing that troubled him deeply. His wife, Wanjiku, was very lazy. Wanjiku was a strikingly beautiful woman, with smooth dark skin that glistened like the night sky after rain. Her braided hair was adorned with beads that clicked softly whenever she moved. Her beauty was known throughout Tumekia, and many had been envious of Njoroge when they married. However, Wanjiku's beauty did not match her spirit, for she was lazy and avoided work at all costs. While other women in the village rose early to fetch water, sweep their compounds, and cook for their families, Wanjiku would sleep until the sun was high in the sky. She would yawn, stretch, and sit under the baobab tree near her home, chatting with passers-by while neglecting her chores. One morning, as Njoroge prepared to leave for the fields, he gently shook Wanjiku awake. "My dear wife," he said kindly, "the sun has already risen. The other women are hard at work, and you should be too. We need water for the day, and the firewood must be gathered." But Wanjiku merely rolled over and sighed. "I am tired, Njoroge. Must I fetch water every day? The river is far,
Njoroge
and the sun
but
is hot."
said nothing more.
He picked up his farming tools and made his way to the fields, hoping that by the time he returned, Wanjiku would have done her duties. Days passed, and nothing changed. The villagers began to murmur amongst themselves, for they noticed how Njoroge worked hard, while Wanjiku did nothing. The other women whispered about her laziness, but Wanjiku paid them no mind. She believed her beauty would be enough to keep her husband's love, no matter how little she contributed. One evening, after a long and tiring day, Njoroge sat on a wooden stool in front of his house. He gazed at the stars, his heart heavy with frustration. He had spoken to Wanjiku many times, but she never listened. The food she cooked was either late or poorly prepared, and their home was often in disarray. As he sat deep in thought, an old man approached. It was Msi Karanja, the village elder, known for his wisdom and gentle heart. "Njoroge, my son," Msi Karanja said in his deep, raspy voice.
"I see trouble in your eyes. What weighs on your mind?"
Njoroge sighed.
"It is my wife, Wanjiku. She does not do her duties, and I fear she will bring shame to our home. I do not know what to do."
Msi Karanja stroked his long white beard and nodded slowly.
Laziness is a heavy burden, my son. But perhaps there is a way to teach her the value of hard work.
Njoroge looked up, intrigued.
"What do you suggest, Mzi?"
The old man smiled and whispered a plan into Njoroge's ear. Njoroge listened carefully, and by the time Msi Karanja left, his spirits had lifted. The next morning, Njoroge rose as usual, but this time he did not wake Wanjiku. Instead, he left quietly and went to the fields as he always did. However, as part of the elder's plan, he did something different that would shake Wanjiku out of her laziness. For the next few days, Njoroge acted as though he had forgotten Wanjiku existed. He did not ask her to fetch water, nor did he remind her to cook or clean. Instead, he simply went about his work, returning home late in the evening and preparing his own meals in silence. Wanjiku at first felt relief. She thought to herself, "At last, he has stopped bothering me." But as time went on, something strange happened. The house grew filthy. Dust settled in every corner, and the once vibrant floors were now covered in dirt. The water jars were empty, and there was no food in the house. Njoroge never complained, but he also never offered to share what little he brought from the fields. Wanjiku began to feel the weight of hunger and discomfort. The beautiful clothes she once wore were stained, and her hair, once neatly braided, became unkempt.